My name is Asha Ramakumar, and I'm a rising second-year student at Harvard Law School.
My name is Roshni Sopariwalla, and I'm a rising 2L at the University of Michigan Law School.
Anoushka Bose. I'm a rising 2L at the Georgetown University Law Center.
My name is Meera Patel. I'm a rising 2L. I go to American University Washington College of Law.
I'm Vibha Kannan. I'm a rising 2L at the New York University School of Law.
So actually, when I got accepted into the University of Michigan Law School, the school put me in contact with an alumni of the school just to kind of chat about her experiences and so I could get a better sense of what Michigan law was like, especially because we were entering law school in the middle of the pandemic. And actually, I got put in touch with Priya Banu, who is actually the head of SABA-DC. And in our conversation, that's where I really first learned about the organization and the work that SABA does both nationwide and specifically in DC.
So I heard about SABA-DC first through the South Asian Law Student Association at my school. They had mentioned that there's a lot of public interest funding. There are a lot of really great events, and the SABA-DC chapter in particular was really active. I was also really interested in having stronger South Asian mentorship. You know, coming from a family of non-lawyers, it was really important for me to have people who look like me and understand my experience kind of guiding me.
So I actually joined SABA at the beginning of my 1L year and just really enjoyed the community and the people I met. So hearing about this fellowship as a SABA member was what encouraged me to join.
I found out about SABA-DC through the Georgetown chapter of the South Asian Law Students Association, which during the year hosted several mutual programming events with the SABA-DC chapter. They advertised the public interest fellowship, but also helped give us career advice on a broad number of trajectories. This fellowship appealed to me specifically because I was looking to gain a community of peers who are also interested in public interest careers in DC, and to get mentorship from the amazing lawyers that are part of SABA-DC already.
I heard about the SABA-DC fellowship from Madhu, who was a 2020 PI fellow, and I was really excited by the opportunities it posed because he spoke about his great experience at the SABA-DC fellowship to NYU students at the South Asian Law Students Association. And so I was motivated to apply because I really wanted the same mentorship opportunities and the network to meet other South Asian students interested in the public sector through the fellowship.
Within the Center for Human Rights, I was working within our South and Southeast Asia portfolio. And so we were looking at issues throughout the region. And a lot of the work I did this summer focused specifically on Nepal, Bangladesh, and India.
My internship this summer was in the chambers of Judge Deborah Boardman in the United States District Court for the District of Maryland.
So this summer I worked at the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, and I investigated FEMA's response to Hurricane Maria and comparing that to their response to other hurricanes.
In my time at IUTA, I was working mainly on one big case for one woman who needed a trafficking visa, a victim of a crime visa, and other cases related to trying to gain status and fight her deportation hearing. And that's how I spent most of my summer.
SABA-DC has been such a great community during the summer as we're all virtual during the pandemic. It's been really nice to have other people to talk to about their public interest internships and fellowship experience. It's also served as a great source of mentorship. We each get matched with one mentor in our respective career interests, and talking to Avni, my mentor, has been so great in terms of learning more about the immigration space in DC.
You know, it's always been kind of a complicated relationship for me. Both of my parents were born in the US and grew up in the US, and so I've always felt this kind of attenuated relationship with being South Asian. And my community in Southern Arizona wasn't really made up with other South Indians, so I wasn't really sure what that meant for me being a third or second generation Indian immigrant. So what I loved so much about SABA is it just didn't matter, is that we're all kind of part of one community and we're all defining it differently for ourselves.
Being South Asian to me means having a network that is willing to help no matter the circumstances, no matter how much they know you, no matter what you're doing or where you are. I know that I can reach out to someone else who is South Asian and they will 100% be willing to help. And that level of confidence is something that keeps me going no matter what I do.
Being South Asian has meant that you've grown up with the best of a lot of different cultures. You've grown up with parents or grandparents that have been incredibly hardworking and committed to trying to bring you to this country and give you the new life that you've been wanting. And I think for me, working in the immigration space, it means that any other South Asian lawyers who speak about immigration intrinsically have the same values. They don't want to have the good immigrant, bad immigrant debate. They understand the importance of just wanting to come to another country to create a better life for your children, and the importance of America standing for the values of asylum and acceptance. And I think being South Asian has just affirmed that even more this summer.
There's such a huge variety of people from the subcontinent. And I think that the more groups you have, the more you show how diverse that subcontinent is. And I think that it's so important for SABA-DC to exist, because I think it really shows there are so many different forms of lawyering. There are so many different forms and models of being a South Asian lawyer in the public sector. The more models of South Asian lawyering there are, the more that's so important for young people like me and myself to kind of see that and emulate that.